So what's the title of the lesson again? Imagine that! Someone moved my cheese. So let me ask, how many people have actually read the book? It's a very old book. Yeah, probably like 3/4 of the folks in the room. And I still own the book, I still use the book, I still go back to the book. How about you? Maybe? Okay, so I might be, again, the book is by Spencer Johnson and was originally released in 1998, so some of this might stir up some memories. If you haven't read the book, it may sound like I'm sharing the whole story, but no, there's more to the story, and I highly recommend it as a book to keep on hand when events turn. So, first, introducing the characters. There's basically 4 characters. 2 mice, Sniff and Scurry. Hard to remember? And 2 what they call little people who are small like mice. Him and Haw. As in him and haw, like indecision. Hint. And him and Haw being little people, of course, they have consciousness. They have beliefs. But the mice live based on instinct, right? But yet they all live in this maze. And of course, a maze has blind corners, dark alleys, dead ends. That never happens in life, right? Not in your life. And essentially these 4 there's a cheese station in the maze called Cheese Station C, where there is a large amount of cheese, mounds of it. And so the story begins that these 4 continue to get up in the morning, they put on their shoes, they go through the maze, and they end up at Cheese Station C, eating the cheese. Until one day, there is no cheese. Life suddenly turned, and not based on their choice, right? So what do you think Sniff and Scurry do? They've got instinct. They don't have any beliefs. Hint, hint. And hence, they use their nose and off to find more cheese. No overanalyzing. We don't do that, do we? And they just start exploring, new parts of the maze to see where they can find the next mound of cheese. Him has a fit. Who moved my cheese? Who moved my cheese? Victim. Why me? How could this be? I deserve better. This is unfair. Where is my cheese? And Haw, he just tuned out, forlorn, in not wanting to hear what Hem had to say and not really sure what to do. So eventually they go back home and you still hear Hem in the background. Who could move my cheese? Why did my cheese move? But what did they do the next day? They're in routine. You don't have any routines, right? You eat at different times and get dressed at different times and don't do the same thing every day, brush your teeth at different times, right? Okay, so they return back to the same place, and guess what Hem does? Complains. Where is my cheese? Continuing to be inflamed that the cheese is no longer there. Now, Haw, this is not in the book, has a spiritual practice. Do you know what that spiritual practice is? Contemplation. Now, we've migrated ourselves from saying contemplation to meditation, and it is slightly different. But the point is that Haw has a spiritual practice where he contemplates. And after he contemplates, he writes. And where does he write? He writes on the wall. That's a metaphor. He writes on the wall of the maze. And the first thing he writes in one day is, the more important your cheese is to you, the more you want to hold on to it. Is there a little emotion there in that? The more important your cheese is to you, the more you want to hold on to it. Now, what did Sniff and Scurry do? They already moved on. But Hem is going to stay and continue the drama. Ha then realizes, you know, this could be an opportunity for gratitude. But it's hard to be grateful when you don't want to see any good in the change. This hasn't happened to you, has it? So Ha asks, where did Sniff and Scurry go? And what does Hem say? Stupid mice. Stupid? Where did Sniff and Scurry go? And unbeknownst to Hem and Ha, have already found new cheese. But instead, Hem goes into, those stupid mice, they have no brains. Now, we don't ever judge any particular situation in our life, do we? When the job changes, when financial troubles come, when a relationship moves on, health change, we don't get have judgment about that situation, do we? Do we want to hang on to what we had? Yeah. So in Hem's case, the more he's talking about stupid mice, his judgment is clouding his potential of possibilities. Ha tries to encourage him. Come on, let's move on. Let's go looking for some more cheese. No, I'm going to figure this out and get to the bottom of it. I mean, I do this myself, right? You start to get into the details of what it is that's in front of you. And where do you end up spending your energy? I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to figure this out. I'm not going to let go, but I'm going to figure this out. This is called suffering. I will not let go, and I will not move on, because I want what I had yesterday. And, you know, we do this a lot. We actually become, and this is a harsh word, arrogant about the way life should be. Now, it's a little juxtaposition because in the science of mind philosophy, we understand that we are of spirit, in, as, and through. That spirit is moving through us, and by our divine birthright, all is available to us. Abundance, relationship, joy, peace. It is all there, and true, we are worthy. But we still, as I mentioned earlier, when things change, we don't think about becoming grateful. We are hanging on to the past, and we're talking about the past, and we're going to figure this out, and we're going to push it. Hem's continuing to say, I'm comfortable, I like it here. I'm too old to change, to move. I'm afraid. Day in and day out. So much so that Ha actually brings tools, shovels, and chisels, digging and drilling through the maze because he's going to find that cheese. Ha contemplates spiritual practice. You know, we're really busy and active, but we're not productive. Busy, I'm too busy to do my spiritual practice. Again, a little sense of arrogance. Again, it's a harsh word, but I am too busy, meaning everything I'm doing is too important instead of doing my spiritual practice. Well, eventually, Ha's spiritual contemplation leads him to laughing at himself. What does Hem keep doing? Stewing on it all. And Ha finally realized, this is insane. I'm doing the same thing over and over, day in, day out, and expecting different results. So Ha decides he's going to leave. What do you think Hem does? Complains and tries to talk Ha out of leaving. Stick with me, right? He asks a whole bunch of questions. What if this? What if that? What if you don't find cheese? What if you get hurt? What if you go? What if you find, there's all these new places and things. Denying that in the current moment, there is no productivity. And I'm just going to stay in the current place, continuing to do the same thing. Denial of the problem. Ha contemplates. Life has changed him. Yesterday's cheese is gone. Ha leaves the next morning, writing on the wall. And you need to all remember this one especially because in the community meeting after service, I will come back to this. Ha reflects. If you do not change, you can become extinct. What if I weren't afraid? What would I do? And the thing is, well, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Ha discovers that as he sets out on his journey and learning the maze anew, that it's not so bad. He's getting new points of view. What would neuroscience say? He's building neuronal pathways. What does that actually mean for all of us health-wise based on neuroscience? Healthy. You're going to get older if you continue to think the same thoughts and stay in the same neuronal pathways. So what's happening to Ha based on what we know in neuroscience? Staying younger, right? Changing. Things are new. Building, like exercising the mind. And he realized, you know what? Old beliefs don't lead you to new cheese. New beliefs actually encourage new behavior, which means new, dare I say, routines. And what do we know? When you change your beliefs, you change your life. And he's basically saying, and you change what you do. Now I'm going to change our motto, which is change your thinking, change your life, to change your old thinking. Change your life and see new perspectives and take new action. Now, cutting the story short, Hem finally finds a new cheese station N. And there's mounds of all new kinds of cheeses he never tasted before. And guess who he runs into at cheese station N? Sniff and Scurry. And how does he know they've been there a while? Now again, Sniff and Scurry don't have consciousness, beliefs. They just go by instinct. So they didn't say, I told you so. And what do you think Hem thinks? Those stupid mice. Fastest way to change is to laugh at yourself. And of course, that's a part of the story that came in 1998. But again, when I go back to science, laughter has been proven in research to heal. Maybe when we're just getting too serious and overanalyzing and making it gonna happen, maybe we just need to laugh. And then, a few weeks ago, I actually looked deeply into laughter yoga. And then I was talking to Annalisa. Where are you? And Annalisa says, I'm certified in laughter yoga. And it's like, I want you. We're going to work out a yoga laughter session. We all need that to lighten up. Fastest way to change is to laugh at yourself, to let go and move on. And then there are some things, some platitudes I'm just going to throw out here. Being flexible. Not camping out, but moving quickly. Don't confuse yourself with old and fearful beliefs. Now, most of us think, I'm not fearful. We don't know that we're fearful. Many times that fear is in our subconscious. And that's why Science of Mind classes are important to take, to exercise, do the spiritual work, the contemplation, and discover, yeah, there were a lot of reasons why I wasn't going that route, but now I've realized it was something new and I didn't want to go there. Enjoy life's adventures. Find a new and better part of yourself. Now, at one point, Ha considered, he actually had gone back to Hem, and Hem had said, I don't like that cheese. I don't want that cheese. So at the end of the story, he debates, now that he's found this big new mound of cheese, maybe I should go back and get Hem. And then Ha realized Hem had to find his own way. And that's hard when you have kids, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And you know what? I keep reminding myself, they don't live in the same generation I did. They're not going to find necessarily the same solutions. It's a whole different world out there. We have a lot of access to information with the internet, do we not?
Yes.
Who needs to listen to your parents anyway? Yes, we can. We can learn till the day we die. And the key thing is, are we doing our spiritual practice to write on the wall, or to even venture out into the maze to read the writing on the wall? So change your thinking, change your life. How about change your old thinking? Are you ready? So what if next Sunday we aren't here at 9:30 and 10 a.m.? What are you going to do? Scurry! Scurry! Where are you going to scurry to? If you do not change, you become extinct. There are many articles talking about how churches are dying. And there's lots of reasons for that. And I'm reading several books. I'll talk about one of them briefly at the community meeting. But based on changes in technology and information, based on the change in people's belief over the generations. I'm reading a great book called The Inner Spiritual Age, and it's talking about more people will adopt the science. Well, some people will adopt the science, okay? Adopting the science of understanding that you can even, there was a survey that went out where they were asked, do you believe in a universal source? In other words, not God. And on purpose, they didn't use the word God because most of us think about the anthropomorphic being that we learned about when we were younger. So, of course, that triggers folks. But when you ask about a unifying universal source, even atheists will answer yes. Sort of an interesting thought. In other words, we're changing our language, we're changing our perspective based on what is known today in science and in technology and in information. And the next generations, and any of you who are parents are seeing this, they don't come with the baggage like Hem comes with, right? And so they're looking for inspiration, but not inspiration as a church, because again, that doesn't connect with the space and time that they live in. In other words, we have evolved as human beings. Our consciousness continues to evolve together. And so if we don't change, we will die. I'm not talking we individually, I'm talking about the Center for Spiritual Living. What does the Center for Spiritual Living mean? Where are we going to go? Are we going to hang out with Hem? Are we? So, how will we change to meet the needs of the next changing generation? Now, of course, this is the us is the we is the I, right? In other words, we are one. So everything you do in your consciousness makes a difference because we are all one. In other words, just like in the water, if I drop a rock in the middle of the pond, there's a ripple. Such it is with our thoughts. So I leave you with the personal reflection contemplation. Where in your life are you like Hem? And where in your life are you like Ha? For your spiritual practice this week and beyond. Namaste. Namaste.